Have y'all seen the testimony from the director of the Secret Service in the congressional hearing? It's crazy. I can't believe what I saw. I watched these videos. I said, I got to bring it to you guys. Something is not right. Something is being hidden. It doesn't look right. The director seems to be, I didn't even know who she was until now, but no more wasting time. Let's go ahead and get into this.
Thank you, Chairman. Director, real quick. At what time was Secret Service aware of the active threat against President Trump? Director, what time?
So the Secret Service was aware that there was an individual who had been identified as suspicious, and that individual was attempting to be tracked down.
At what time?
I don't have a specific timeline other than to
Director, it's been 9 days.
I understand
At what
that.
time?
I want to make sure that I give you factual information, sir.
Director, have you talked to the agents on the ground that day?
Yes, I have.
You've talked to all of them? Your senior team has talked to every agent that was on the ground that day?
Yes, we have.
Have they all corroborated the same time they identified the shooter or they were made aware of the shooter, either by attendees in the crowd or local police department?
There are a number of reports of when those times were made.
Was it 5 minutes before the first shot rang out?
No.
Generally speaking, was it 10 minutes before the first shot rang out?
No.
Was it 15 minutes before the first shot rang out?
It was less than that time frame.
It seems like she didn't come prepared for this hearing. And it's interesting because I'm not sure. I've been following this story, and I'm not sure that it's been getting the attention that it should get when there's a president that almost has his life taken. Regardless about your politics, you know, if you're Republican or Democrat, that's not what's important. What's important is that somebody tried to take out a United States president, which usually will be a matter of national security, but for somebody like the Secret Service director to come to a congressional hearing not answering questions, this isn't it. I'm going to show you guys another video after this. It gets worse. Just stick with me.
When it was identified as a threat.
How many days before the shooting took place did Secret Service actually do their advance work to secure the facility that the rally was going to be held at?
5 days.
In the 5 days prior, when the security advance team did their work, did they identify the rooftop as a potential threat?
Again, I'm pulling those reports and that information.
It's been 9 days, Madam Director. Did they notice a roof?
See how she don't have the answers? He just asking her if they evaluated that building as a threat, and she's saying that she doesn't have the data or the information in front of her to be able to answer the question. It's crazy.
Top 150 yards away, that was a potential threat, yes or no?
I am certain that the rooftop was noticed. I am pulling the reports.
What was the security parameters around securing that rooftop? What did they do?
There was overwatch provided for that rooftop.
Did overwatch fail?
I am waiting to hear what the results of the investigation were so that I can identify where the failure was.
Who did you talk to that was on the ground that day that was responsible for overwatch? What are their names?
I'm not going to provide their names in this setting.
Did you talk to the people that were providing overwatch that day?
I've talked to the people that conducted the advance on that day and that were working the shift and were the counter snipers on that day.
So you talked to the counter sniper team, you talked to the people who were providing overwatch that day, and you talked to the advance team, correct?
Yes, sir.
What did they tell you?
We are putting together a comprehensive report so that I can identify exactly where the gaps and the failures.
This is the type of stuff that people watch and listen to, and they decide that they don't like the way that America works. It's like, who are you to be able to not answer questions as a director, and you're being asked these questions by members of Congress, basically the United States people. And this is just crazy. It's hard having patriotism when you see stuff like this. And it's not just this, it's other things going on in the country. I'm just giving my personal experience. But when I see stuff like this, it just it doesn't sit right with me.
When the counter sniper team was on the roof and they identified that there was suspicious activity on the roof in question, what was the chain of command's orders around the person on said roof? Because I'm quite sure somebody saw in under your organization, the Secret Service, I'm quite sure somebody saw the shooter on the roof. So what was the communication through the chain of command to deal with said person?
What I can tell you is that when the individual was identified by the counter sniper, they took one shot and neutralized that individual.
But that was after the shooter already took a shot. Is that correct?
That is correct.
So what you're saying now.
So basically, it sounds like she's saying that they didn't know anything about the person being on the roof until the counter sniper immediately took a shot and deleted the shooter, which doesn't line up because you had so many people letting the police and letting the authorities know that there was somebody on the roof with a weapon. The stories just seem kind of weird to me.
Is that the Secret Service did not see the shooter on the roof until after the shooter took a shot?
I do not have all of those details at this time.
If you don't have those details,
why don't you have the details? Why don't you have the details if you are the director of Secret Service? I wonder who's over the director. Who in the event that took place with Trump, whose jurisdiction does that fall under? Is it multiple jurisdiction? I wonder. I'm gonna give her some benefit of the doubt here. Is it multiple jurisdictions over that event that took place, and maybe the director doesn't have the authority like we think the director of Secret Service has? Like it sounds weird. It sounds crazy. I know, but she should definitely have that story. It's been 9 days. She should have interviewed everybody and know what has happened already.
after 9 days, Director, then what you're telling me is that you guys didn't see it. Is that correct?
I am telling you, I don't have all the details of the sequence at this time.
Director, it's been 9 days. Either you have the information or you do not. Is that correct?
We are still in the process of conducting interviews and an investigation.
Some of my colleagues have texted me over the last couple days, bipartisan, about whether you should lose your job. And I've been quiet on that question because I wanted to see what you were going to do today. In my opinion, you do need to be fired immediately. And it is because this is gross incompetence. And the fact that it's been 9 days, and these are simple questions to answer. I'm quite sure if I asked any one of my kids if they got in trouble and I told them to give me the details, I would get more answers from them than I'm getting from you right now. And that's what's frustrating on a bipartisan basis, on a nonpartisan basis. This is a joke. And Director, you're in charge. And that's why you need to go. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
All right, that was crazy. Look, I'm gonna play another video because this was crazy. As you know, she was doing an interview or testimony before Congress in front of the world, basically, and so many Congress people they were blasting her. It was crazy, and the level of what I want to say cooperation or competence that she was displaying was unbelievable. I'll say it that way. It was unbelievable. The level of competence that she was displaying. It is something that you wouldn't believe. I'm going to pull up another video here. Give me 1 second, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Cheadle, what grade would you give the Secret Service's performance in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13?
As I've stated, ma'am, this was clearly a failure. I would grade the agents and officers who selflessly threw themselves in front of the president and neutralized the threat an A. I think that we need to examine the events that led up to and prior to that day.
You stated in 2021 that the Secret Service has a zero-fail mission. It's clear that the events of July 13 show a cascade of failures that cost Corey Comparator his life, nearly cost former president his life, and injured David Dutch and James Copenhaver. When an agency fails spectacularly at its mission, those responsible must be held accountable, and the problems must be fixed so they cannot happen again. Why should the American people or the officials you're responsible for protecting have confidence in your ability to lead the Secret Service after such a spectacular failure?
I appreciate the question, and I am committed to finding answers so that we can make the agency stronger after this.
You said on July 15 that the buck stops with me. How are you taking accountability for the Secret Service's failures during the July 13 assassination attempt on President Trump?
I have taken accountability, and I will continue to take accountability. I am responsible for leading the agency, and I am responsible for finding the answers to how this event occurred and making sure that it doesn't happen again.
So I would like to explore how you got the job as director of the United States Secret Service. Is it typical for the director of the Secret Service to be recommended for the role at the behest of a president's family and senior staff, perhaps at the request of Joe Biden or Anthony Bernal?
I got the job as a director of the Secret Service because I spent 27 years in an agency with a mission that I absolutely love. I started my career in Detroit. I worked my way up through investigations and protection.
Was there competition for the position?
You would have to ask those who were involved in the interview process.
But you think you are the best person in the country to head the Secret Service?
I think that I am the best person to lead the Secret Service at this time.
Man, she about to lose her job. Let me know in the comments. Excuse me. Let me know in the comments if you guys think she's about to lose her job. I think that she's about to lose her job. That's my vote.
The Secret Service receives billions in funding each year, as has been explained by my colleagues here. In fact, you've had an increase in real terms of 55%. As you're no doubt aware, staffing levels for those assigned to protect the president, former presidents, and other senior officials has decreased by about 350 between 2014 and today. Clearly, a lack of financial resources not to blame for the staffing shortage. In 2022, the Secret Service saw nearly half its workforce leave in 1 year, and during the same year, it was ranked dead last among law enforcement agencies in the best places to work in the federal government. Can you explain why your agency was so poorly rated and why so many staff left in just 1 year?
So with all due respect, I dispute the statistic of half of the employees leaving in 2022. I think that has been inaccurate data that's been reported out there. But what I can tell you is, as I have returned as the director of the agency, we have had an increase in hiring and staffing and an increase in resources, and we are committed to continue to hire so that we can be staffed appropriately to meet the dynamic mission that we have.
Well, you may want to dispute it, but it's out there. My understanding, given the high profile failures and rotten culture at the Secret Service during your nearly 2-year tenure, why should the American people have any confidence in your ability to lead the Secret Service to perform its zero-fail mission to protect our senior leaders?
The Secret Service has an incredible culture. Our men and women place service over self. They come in every day willing to risk their lives for our protective mission, and they work investigations that thwart people who would do harm to children, child exploiters. We have an incredible mission, and our culture is we will get the job done no matter what.
Well, those on the front line certainly have a great culture, and they were willing to risk their lives for President Trump. But I'm not sure the leadership at the agency has this right kind of culture. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Chair now.
Wow. She said that the leadership is not doing what it's supposed to do. This is crazy, guys. This is so crazy. I got another video that I want to show to you. One more. There was a lot of this hearing was about 4 hours long, and I didn't want to cover the entire hearing. I did watch some of it as much as I could, but then I wanted to watch just the breakdowns. And after I watched the breakdowns, I had to come in and bring it to you guys. But this last video that we're going to go into over the hearing, it's to me it's crazy. I can't believe like how much lack of accountability it seems like the director is taking. Hopefully this won't be the end of it. Hopefully we'll see some other departments come out and give some testimony on what happened. I don't know if this would have happened to President Biden. I got a feeling that this will be getting handled differently. I have a feeling that if this happened to President Biden, that this would be playing out a bit differently. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. If it was President Biden, would this be getting handled differently? Now, this next congressperson that's about to examine the witness is the director rather is going to throw a couple zingers out there. Let's go in and see what they're talking about.
Mr. Chairman, and first of all, I want to thank the Secret Service agents, those who work tirelessly to protect our presidents, and specifically those agents who did not hesitate to jump in front of President Trump. And my heart goes out to the family of the Comptoir family and the people at the rally who are still recovering. On the other hand, the Secret Service has a leadership problem, and it falls on you. And although I appreciate your hollow words that the buck stops here, I was actually hoping for some answers. Director Cheadle, you must answer to the American people if you want to stay in charge. It's really, really simple. You want to keep your job, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. The best way to keep your job is to answer the questions, not play this shell game, not sing the Slim Shady song, wasn't me. I mean, come on. How long did you prepare for this hearing?
Look, this is not funny, but she bringing up Eminem, the Slim Shady, talking about it wasn't me. Was she right? I think she was trying to hit her with I think she was trying to snap on her, but that sound like Shaggy. It wasn't me. I don't know that Eminem. That's I think she meant Shaggy because Shaggy said it wasn't me.
I've been preparing for this hearing over the weekend and into last week.
Okay, 5 days, 6 days?
As soon as I was notified
And how long was that?
about this hearing,
Okay, 4 days,
I began preparing.
4 days, 3 days?
I'm not sure the date that I got the letter asking me to be here.
What are you sure of? Are you sure the color of
See, the way she just answered that, to me, it seems like she's not really thinking about what she wants to say. She's programmed to just say what she's going to say because she didn't even try to go back and think, was it Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday? Like, what day was that? She didn't even do any of that. She just said, I don't remember. It's like she didn't even try to think. If she would have tried, she probably could have figured out what day it was, but she didn't even try to think. So it kind of makes me think that she's just, giving programmed answers, just giving responses, that you're programmed to say.
your hair? Are you sure the color of your suit? I'm just like, tell the American people, what are you sure of? You don't even know when you started preparing for the hearing? I mean, the biggest hearing of your life and you have no clue? You can't remember?
Crazy.
When you started preparing for this hearing? Can you understand why those words seem hollow to the American people who are supposed to entrust their faith in you?
I assure you, the moment I received notification,
But you can't remember. You got a little Alzheimer's, dementia going? I mean, what, you can't remember.
I have several active investigations going on and an operational agency to run.
Okay. All right. But you want to take accountability, right? The buck stops with you, right?
Oh man, she said you got Alzheimer's or something like that. That's crazy. It's not funny, but wow, like they really upset with this woman, man. And respectfully so, it seems like she just does not have the answers that you would expect the director to have, you know, that's responsible for protecting all the leaders that they're supposed to take. Is wow.
I'm taking accountability.
Super. Then let's start with trying to answer some questions. You keep referring to the FBI. When asked how many shell casings were on the roof, you referred to the FBI. When asked if there were explosives in the car, you referred to the FBI. When asked if Crooks was acting alone, you referred to the FBI. See a common theme here? I can go on and on. My question is, who at the FBI should I speak with? Wait for it. Wait for it.
The FBI is responsible for the criminal
Is there a name?
I'm not certain.
I'm not certain.
Who
All
at
right, here we go.
FBI
I'm
is
not
running the
certain. I
investigation.
don't know. Let me ask a different question. Have you been in communication with the FBI?
Yes, I have.
With whom?
I speak with the director and the deputy director.
Okay. And what have they shared with you about this investigation? So I'll give you an opportunity to answer again. Did they share with you how many shell casings were on the roof?
They have shared with me the evidence.
Did they share with you how many shell casing were on the roof?
Yes.
Okay, how many were there?
I would refer to the FBI for their
How
investigation
many were there?
and their information that they need to share in their investigation.
So they've shared the information with you, you just don't want to share the information with us, correct?
She hiding something, y'all. Something ain't right. She's hiding something. They don't want to speak too soon and give some information out that they might want to possibly change later on. You know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I am a conspiracy theorist. Something's going on here. Like, she hiding something. She don't even want to tell how many shell casings was on the roof. Like, and that number wouldn't change no matter who's telling this story about how many shell cases was on the roof. That number shouldn't change no matter who's telling it, but you don't want to tell it because you want to let the FBI tell it. Why you got to wait for the FBI to tell it? If they told you, that means you privy to the information. So since you have the information, you should be able to disclose the information. But if they didn't want you to know how many shell casings was on the roof, they wouldn't have told you, or you're not privy to that information. But if you privy to that information and they told you that information and you don't want to tell people, y'all hiding something, man.
We have concurrent investigations that are going on.
So they have shared this information with you. You know the answer to the question. You just refuse to answer the question from the member of Congress who has subpoenaed you to be here. Is there a different answer to that question?
I was always willing to come here and testify before this oversight hearing.
Beautiful, then let's
Wasn't a-
do
that
that.
was
Let's
necessary.
for once have your actions match your words. So you've been in communication with the FBI. You know the answers and you refuse to tell us the answers. So I will ask you again. You know how many shell casings were on that roof. What is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent to
What
talk.
is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent to talk to you about the information that the Secret Service has and that the Secret Service knows related
I'm
to the
asking
events
you
on
an
that day.
answer to the question. If
Can y'all trust the government? Can the presidents trust Secret Service? Can you trust your mayors? Can you trust your governors? Can you trust the police? Can you trust the leadership in America? This is the type of behavior that's making people take justice into their own hands. This is the type of behavior that's making the country want to go into a civil war. I hate to say it, but go into a civil war when the leaders, they act like the citizens are children. This gives me vibes that, the leadership is a parent and the citizens are children, and the children don't really know a lot. So we're just going to tell them anything and expect them to go with it. This is crazy.
You're supposed to be in charge. If the buck stops with you, how come you can't share the answers? What are you covering up? What are you hiding, my friend?
Get her. She hiding
I'm not
something.
covering anything up.
Then why can't you answer a simple question?
She hiding something.
I would leave it to the criminal investigation to answer questions related to that.
When you talk to the FBI and you ask them how many explosives, well, let me ask you, did you ask them how many explosives were on the roof? Did they answer that question? Or in the car, excuse me. Did they answer that question for you?
Yes.
Yes. So you know the answer to that question that my colleagues have asked you. But again, you refuse to give us the answers. You're playing this wasn't me. Well, I submit to you, if you can't, and it's not a can't, it's a won't. It's not a can't. It's not a I don't know. It's a I choose not to answer the question. Well, let me tell you, Ms. Cheadle, if you're going to lead, you need to lead. If you want to be in charge, then answer the question or step aside and have someone with the courage and the guts to answer to the American people the questions that they deserve answers to. And with that, I yield back.
Sure. Ooh, I told y'all this was crazy. They went at her. Yeah, man. It's not much else to say in regards to this. It is kind of scary. It's kind of frightening a little bit to me. I hope everything turns out all right with what's going on in this matter. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. If this video resonated with you, if it made you feel some type of way, let me know in the comments. We always engage with our viewers down in the comments. Also, I will include the link to our mastermind community if you want to tap in with me inside my communities and clubs. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.